I would now like to introduce you to our alumni speaker. Kevin holds a BA Hons Business Administration from the University of East London and an MSc Global Banking and Finance from the European Business School, London, and an MBA from Webster Graduate School, Webster University, St. Louis, USA. Kevin's passion and desire is to see the private sector in Africa take a more prominent role in driving growth on the continent. He has worked and done business in Africa, Europe, and South America, sitting on various education and entrepreneurship development panels in Nigeria and the UK. Please join me in welcoming Kevin today.
Chancellor, Regent's University academic staff, graduating students, family and friends, it's indeed an honor to have been asked to address this wonderful group of graduating postgrads. And how do I know that they're wonderful? Because I used to be one of them 8 years ago. I was sitting, well, not actually here, but I was sitting in their positions 8 years ago. And what I do know for a fact is there is no way you could have passed through the European Business School without having an element of wonder about you. Do you agree? Absolutely. So, and as managing director of a consulting firm, I've been asked to speak in front of various different crowds. But I have to say this is actually the most daunting one of them, because I'm speaking to people who I used to be. And it's very scary when you're trying to speak to yourself. My wife keeps telling me that all the time. So, and I think part of the reason also is because I feel like I'm under pressure, you know, to inspire you guys, to say something inspirational so that when you go out of here, you conquer the world and all these wonderful things. But the truth is, if my presence here and what I say today is able to inspire even one person in this room, and not just the graduates, but the families and friends as well, I think I would have achieved what I came here to do. So when I was thinking about what to say today, I couldn't think of anything. I thought about speaking about what I do as a business, talking about Africa and the wonderful opportunities and the many issues that exist. But I came down to three things. And the first thing is overcoming your fears. Now, believe it or not, I am terrified of public speaking, absolutely terrified. And you could just imagine the beads of sweat rolling down my back in this suit and this gown right now. Actually, try not to imagine that. That might be a bit much. But it's precisely because I'm afraid of public speaking that I do it. Because for every time I put myself out there and stand in front of a crowd, in front of an audience, and I speak, I conquer that fear. So each time I do it, I become stronger and stronger and stronger. So my question to you is, what are you afraid of? What's the fear that you need to conquer to move you from here to there, and ultimately there? The second thing is doing what you love. And one of the reasons I accepted the gracious offer to come here and speak is because what I do for a living today has a lot to do with some of the experiences that I had as a student here at EBSL. It was the summer of 2005. We just finished our first term on the MSc program. And everybody was looking for internships. I'm sure some of you can relate to that. Long summer, couldn't find an internship. The fact that I couldn't find an internship formed the basis of one of the things that I do today, but I'll come on to that later on. But eventually, I was offered a role in the External Relations Department of Regent's University, right here. So I was calling up a lot of international students. Well, that was in 2006, so I'm sure most of you weren't thinking about coming here at the time, but helping them to bring in more international students here. And that was the basis of the first company that I set up. So that summer, after the internship, I went back to Nigeria, which is where I'm from originally, and I set up a company called Education, Training, and Knowledge. And what I was doing was bringing international students into the UK for various universities, including EBSL, Regent, Oracle, and all the rest. And one of my greatest loves, like you may have read in my bio, is finding sustainable ways to help my continent, Africa, develop. And so as soon as I completed my internship, I went back, set up that business. And today, I run a UK-based, Africa-focused business. So what we do is we help individuals like yourselves, and possibly your parents, who might be thinking about going into the African continent to set up business, to work, or just to find out what the opportunities are. So that's what my organization does at the moment. And it is such a joy. I wake up excited every single day. And the single reason is because I am doing what I love. So to summarize, my second gem of wisdom is always try to find something you love, but you can also make money from. Very important. Because that way, it'll never really be a job. It'll just be you waking up doing something you love and getting paid for it. It might take a while, but my advice is just keep your eyes on the prize, and you'll get there eventually. The third thing, and I think possibly most important, is staying in touch. Stay in touch with your friends. Stay in touch with the people you've met while you were here. Stay in touch with, become part of the Alumni Society. I think that's very important because what David Whittaker and his team are able to offer is very, very significant. And the fact that I'm standing here today is a testament to that. And hopefully, in a few years down the line, one of you might be standing here addressing the next group of wonderful EBSL graduates. I can tell you one thing for sure, is that today, your graduation day, is actually the beginning of your real life education. So you've done the academic bit. Now the real education begins, the real world education. And you will find that some of the immeasurable skills that you've learned, or unmeasurable, depending, you've learned here, or you may not even know that you've learned, will serve you very well when you go out there. And I'll give you a few examples. So for the guys, you know all those times when you were trying to chat up that girl, trying to get her to go on a date with you through the period when you were studying here? Negotiation skills. Those are negotiation skills. And for the girls, people evaluation skills. You know when that guy was trying to chat you up to go out on a date, and then you had to have sort of the managerial meeting with your team, friends, you know, to assess this young man who is trying to take you out on a date. And then you had to tell him he actually wasn't right for the job. People evaluation skills. Now, these skills have certainly helped me in my work and my business life. And can I just say to the guys, I was a top negotiator when I was at Regent. So finally, I'd like to leave you with a final thought. I couldn't think of anything original. So I decided to put together something from my two favorite sports brands in honor of the World Cup. Impossible is nothing, so just do it. Thank you.